Good morning, I'm Dale, and let's look back at the results from the ATP WTA and the United Cup. This debrief will be going through the finals and some of the other choices of some players from the week, how they went, maybe good or bad. And let's start with Brisbane. And I think Medvedev looked fantastic this week. It seems like old Medvedev might be back. He looked focused. He's won his 22nd title in the 22nd city. Looked very dominant in the final, even though we went to a tiebreak in the second set. It just was always Medvedev. He always looked from the very first match like he was going to win this tournament. And I tell you what, if Sinner and Alcaraz are off the game, Medvedev might be one to pick up for the Australian Open there. I put a little cheeky bet on him at 34-1. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Great week for Nakashima. He was really smacking his shots around. Didn't quite match it in the final, but some great results to make a final there. I always feel like Nakashima's got a lot more potential than we've seen so far. I remember that Wimbledon a few years ago against Kyrgios. He could have won that match, and he's looking good, and I'd like to see a good year from him. Another quick few shout outs. I have to say the Americans had a great tournament. Mickelson came through, Kovacevic as well. Great results there. The Americans look good. The quarter even getting a couple of wins. Collignon, who's I'm on about, like he's looked great last year, and he's going to have a good year, and got a great couple of wins in Brisbane as well. So look out for him. Over to Hong Kong for the ATP, and we saw the win for Bublik over Musetti. Both of them getting some career highs out of this week. Number 5 for Musetti, Bublik goes into the top 10, and Musetti lost another final. But great win for Bublik. Like, he doesn't have a lot of points to defend, so we're going to see him rise up the rankings more in the next few months, I think. But he's always such an unknown when it comes to the Oz Open, but great for him to win that title. A good week for Musetti as well. Rublev as well, getting some results. You know, like I'd like to see Rublev back to where he was, so that was good for him. Shout out to Giron from America as well. He had a good week, and also a couple of the Asian players as well. Shang from China, who's coming back from injury, looked really like he was up for a massive trajectory. Made the quarters, and Coleman Wong from Hong Kong, first quarter final, ATP level, and to make it in his home tournament. That's a fantastic result. Let's go to the women's side now. The Brisbane WTA 500, and what a tournament this was. Players galore everywhere, which goes to show like Sabalenka winning as dominantly as she did was phenomenal. She looks fantastic. Straight sets, I think being taken to 6-4 was her closest set for the week. Just looked dominant. However, I must have to say, no one who's won the Brisbane International Women's has gone on to win the Australian Open. When she did win the Australian Open, she was runner-up to Rybakina. But I think she'd have to be favourite going through to Melbourne at the moment. Amazing week for Kostyuk. She was just hitting like out of her skin. That win against Pegula, Andreeva, just like fantastic. And Anisimova, what a week for her, and a beautiful speech as well from her side. I don't think for any of the major players there was anything that was really all for Andreeva, Anisimova, Pegula, Keys. They all had losses that, you know, you could explain away later. It was a good hit out for the year. Maybe Anisimova, the more disappointing of that lot, but I don't think so really. Like, they were all hitting fine. Let's wait and see. Pegula's manner of loss probably wasn't great to see either. Hard to know where Keys is at. Andreeva's there as well. So no one did badly. No one did phenomenally, but they all did consistently enough, and Rybakina there as well. Also just want to say Mukova, fantastic for her. I want to see her kind of go to that next level, and I think it was a really good tournament for her, and she looked probably the maybe the second best player of the week there. So good one for Mukova, and I'll just chuck in Tomljanovic there because she could have beaten Mukova, and I think because of that, Aya has always threatened to get back to where she was, and so maybe this is a good stepping stone to see more. We'll see how she does in Adelaide and the Oz Open. Auckland, amazing to see Svitolina win in the same place Monfils won a year ago. Love it. Won against Wang in the final, so great result for her too. Have to talk about it. Eala from Philippines, semi-finalist, could have made the final there. Really good week for her. This is so good for the game to see her doing so well. The fans for her were fantastic, so more of that. And a shout out to a couple of players who lost earlier. Vekic just lost to eala in a really good match, and so that first round loss is probably not as bad as it looks. We saw eala go on, and Kartal from UK, who can hit a ball. She lost just, I think it was a tiebreaker to Svitolina, but very closely to Svitolina in the quarters. So good form for her there as well. Let's go to United Cup, and I don't even know where to start. We've had so many stories, but number one is Poland finally winning it. Amazing. And probably like the comeback of Hurkacz. Hubi just did it. Like, well, what an amazing week he had. Yeah, of course he had some losses, like he lost a Demonor, but he played so well, and he must be pumped going into the Australian Open to get that form back as well. So really good. He looks really fit, charismatic as usual, but yeah, no, fantastic. Schwartek, who knows? Bit disappointing, have to say. You know, those earlier wins against Joint and Alice probably don't stand out as much now. I think Gauff and the loss to Bencic was really interesting. Just no plan B. She panics, smacks everything, and she needs that kind of plan B. But don't write her off yet. Wait, she's got a lot of match practice. She's got the win for Poland. Wonderful doubles team from Poland, and well done them. Incredible week for Switzerland. Belinda Bencic won 9 in a row and just lost the last one. She was just playing so well in singles and as well as a doubles. So can she carry that through? She plays so well for a nation. We see that happen in singles? Wawrinka, like he only actually won one match, but he just had an impact, right? And I think that feel good story, getting the World Cup, playing so well, it's really good. I would love to see him get this one win at the Australian Open. It's all going to be about the draw. So well done, Switzerland. Belgium were a bit of the wildcard team. Mertens, her form really stuck through. Like she got really good results. So watch out for Mertens. Bergs was just like he was so up and down at times. Sometimes it was terrible in the doubles, but his singles results were really good. Again, up and coming. Watch out for him. America, Gauff was good, really lifted, except for that one random loss. Like it just didn't make sense compared to the rest of her results. Fritz, poor. I know he's meant to be carrying some injury, but that's really concerning. But he got some matches under his belt, but concerning results there, I have to say. Australia, Demonor really picked up after Ruud looked really good. That match against Hurkacz was fantastic. And his win against the Czech guys was just awesome against Mensik. Joint didn't look, she'd been sick, but she really looked out of it. And my concern is like she struggled in the Billie Jean King Cup as well. I think playing for Australia and the weight of expectation in her sort of second year now properly on the tour might have a bit of an impact. I don't think we'll see an amazing year for Joint, or at least an amazing summer. I think she'll do better abroad, and that weight of expectations might just hit her in the second year before she bounces back for the third. Baez was amazing for Argentina. Where did that come from? So well done to him. The Greeks, Tsitsipas, Sakari, are we seeing comeback? They both played really well. Some up and down results, but overall, I think a lot to be positive about without being too excited. They could do a little bit better than we expect in the Australian Open, depending on draws. I thought Osaka and Rybakina were poor or just not fantastic, but hey, it's time to build. They got some matches under their belts. I thought the Italians didn't look great either. Caboli did not look good. I'm a big fan of Caboli. He was whacking all over the place. I'm not expecting a lot. And Auger-Aliassime, again, I'm not sure that form's coming through at this point. But Mboko, you got to remember all the way back in the group stage, some good results there, and that loss to Mertens doesn't look as bad at all now. Not that it looked bad at the time, but it actually looks good because she took it to 3. So she could have a better summer than we're expecting. But a wonderful United Cup. Ruud, I'm a big fan of that. Winning against Demonor was fantastic, but then he lost the next round, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, wonderful first week. Just so much going on. And the Canberra Challenge, I have to shout out blocks against Hodar. The two young guys, they're both going to have an amazing year this year. So Canberra Challenger is where it's at. Fonseca won it last year, and it's where it's at to see where the new ones are coming through. All right, see what happens this week.